How to do these intros again? Hello everyone, I'm Blake Childress, and I'm That One Filmmaker, and welcome to the That One Filmmaker Season 4 finale. Now, this is probably going to be one of the last videos I make for a while, because if you couldn't tell by this stylish as fuck hat, I'm going to UT Arlington, and I have hopes to transfer to UT Austin next year. And, I mean, in all honesty, I'm probably not going to be making that many videos while I'm up in Arlington for this year. I'm going to try and make something, like I'll probably upload a few videos every now and then, but like, as of right now, I am officially, Season 5 of That One Filmmaker is going to come later. But in the meantime, for this Season 4 finale, I wanted to show you guys a video that I made for my IB film class, which was my comparative study over the films Taxi Driver and Parasite. Now basically how a comparative study works, if you're not an IB film kid, basically it's part of your final exam grade, and the whole point is you have to compare and contrast two movies that either have two different nationalities or two different eras, which I decided to do both just for the hell of it. But you compare these two movies and you comment on a film theory that's being used and how it's being explored through a film element. So for this video, I decided to do how Taxi Driver and Parasite utilize the psychoanalytic film theory through symbolic production design. And originally this video was going to have 3 elements in total, but like we were restricted to just a 10-minute analysis video. So, I mean, if I went in depth with the other 2 elements, I could have made a 30-minute video, but we had to stick to 10 minutes and under. So this is the video. I put a lot of work into it, so much so that I actually ended up getting a 7, which, if you don't know about IB grades, 1 is the worst, 7 is like a 99 to a 100, so I pretty much made a, not even pretty much, I made a perfect fucking grade on my IB film exam. And a lot of it I think has to do with this video, because this is, I don't really like to praise my own content that much, because I think it's just stupid, but like, this is definitely my most professionally edited video I've made, and it's honestly just, it's awesome, and I'm really excited to show it to you guys. So, sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy my IB film comparative study.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
I never properly showed you guys a house tour of the house. So right here is the front of the house, which was featured in, I believe it was Mac and G's Endgame, that vlog when I panned up to the sky. That was pretty epic. These were the stairs that were featured in the first That One Filmmaker video I made, which was the It Comes at Night video, where you had Jackson running down the stairs, going down, and then I was right here, and then I think I cried or something and I fell into the kitchen, because, fuck, It Comes at Night. Here we have another classic That One Filmmaker location with the pool. In this area, I was depressed in the pool for the It Comes at Night Revisited video. I also fought Trent right there during one of my birthday videos. And yeah, this is also the location that we shot pretty much all of Meta. It was pretty much just right here. Lots of memories. Definitely lots of memories. Here we have the game room. It's a bit of a mess, but there's been a few videos that were featured here. I got a fucking piano here. And then there was a few videos I think I may have filmed in my actual room. I remember I recorded the Black Panther video. And there's some fucking laundry, because I'm a fucking lazy son of a bitch. What a fucking idiot. Apart from that, there's not really much to show with the house. think the light's blocking it, but a Nerf bullet that is stuck there, and I don't know if we're ever gonna get it down. And that's the house tour. This is probably the last video it's gonna be in this location, so I'm gonna give a proper goodbye to the That One Filmmaker house. Bye. Bye. Bye.
We now join our regularly scheduled program, already in progress.
The psychoanalytic film theory is a commonly utilized film theory within the psychological film genre, where it's often associated with thrillers and horror. Films that follow the psychoanalytic film theory utilize film as a visual expression of psychology. Psychological films at their core are studies of a character's frame of mind and the mental journey a character endures through the events of the film's narrative. A character's mental state is usually expressed through dialogue or from the actor's performance. However, films can express this through visual storytelling. According to Alfred Hitchcock, director of the film Psycho, this is what gives an effective life to a picture. The feeling that when you see it on the screen, you're watching something that has been conceived and brought to birth directly in visual terms. In other words, the psychology of a character can be shown through the environment that the character inhabits, which establishes the context necessary for proper character development. This relationship between a character and the surroundings can be seen in Martin Scorsese's 1976 American film Taxi Driver and in Bong Joon-ho's 2019 South Korean film Parasite. Taxi Driver is centered around Travis Bickle, a Vietnam War veteran struggling with PTSD and insomnia that dreams of cleaning the streets of rampant crime. The film takes place in New York in the 1970s, where citizens struggled with unemployment due to the town's economy becoming stagnant. Facing imminent bankruptcy, the city of New York laid off city workers and cut costs on sanitation services to save money. This environment of decay and immorality inspires Travis to act violently for the sake of others around him. In contrast, many citizens like Travis faced an uncertain future, and often acted irrationally, but not for the lives of others, instead for the sake of their own survival. This concept also serves as the main basis for Parasite, which focuses on the lower-class Kim family who attempt to infiltrate the wealthy Park family's household and become employed by acting as skilled individuals. The film takes place in Seoul, South Korea in the modern day. The film serves as a commentary on the social class divide within the lower class compared to the higher class. According to writer Hagen Koo, economic inequality in South Korea has grown significantly over the past decade, and the growing disparity is manifested in every aspect of social life, from consumption pattern and lifestyle to residential segregation and educational opportunities. Koo discusses that the rapid economic growth and globalization moved large quantities of people into the middle class, and as the middle class's lives became more prosperous, the lower class's lives became worse than ever before. This dynamic struggle between the rich and the poor is characterized with the mental struggles of the Kim family as they try and work harmoniously as a unit with the Park family. Both Taxi Driver and Parasite create characters trapped in unfavorable positions within their respective environments, and while these films differ greatly in plot, they both follow a similar structure depicting a character's mental state and the repercussions that follow when they break free from controlling factors. This is shown through Scorsese and Joon-ho's use of symbolic production design. The design of the environments that a character inhabits can not only serve as a subtle cue towards the complex emotions a character is experiencing, but can also serve as motivation for the character's psychological journey. In Taxi Driver, New York is portrayed as dilapidated and filthy. Not only is this because of New York City's lack of funds to afford proper sanitation services, but it is also meant to represent Travis's fragile mental state as it evolves throughout the film. For example, in this scene in the beginning of the film, Travis is talking with an employee officer at a taxi company about getting hired as a driver. The walls in the office appear to be old and have visibly large cracks, and the table the officer when we see Travis grab the papers from him appears to be coordinated and organized, yet crammed due to limited spacing. These two details can be connected through the dialogue spoken by Travis within this scene. Travis discusses his insomnia and discusses his history with the Marines as a nod to his PTSD. These mental conditions are cracks that negatively affect his life on a daily basis. The table and its coordination serves as a physical contradiction because Travis himself is described later in the film by Betsy as a walking contradiction. Travis lives his life based on various contradictions, like his overall disgust of sex and prostitutes, and yet he frequents an adult movie theater multiple times throughout the movie. The table is a physical representation of Travis's own cognitive dissonance, a condition in which one's mental attitudes conflict with one's behavioral actions. Similar to Taxi Driver, the opening scene in Parasite utilizes its setting of a lower-class housing system in Seoul to establish its character's psychological context. In this scene from the beginning of the film, Kiwoo is trying to find Wi-Fi that he can access through his phone. As he moves to their apartment, items like clothes or boxes are piled on top of each other due to limited spacing. Every room in their apartment is small, giving the viewer a sense of claustrophobia. This in turn illustrates the Kim family struggle with becoming employed and earning because of their small living space. The Kim family live in what's called a semi-basement apartment, which according to the Korean Housing Association, after studying the housing situation of younger Koreans, Capital Region young renters had the worst housing quality to have the greatest proportion of households living in units failed to meet meet national minimum housing standards and or in basement or semi-basement units. Semi-basement apartments are known for being the last place any human should live because of the risk of fire or mold. This paints a desperate situation which establishes clear context for the immoral and illogical actions the family commits throughout the film just to survive their hopeless living situation. In another scene in Taxi Driver, we see Travis on the street getting picked up to meet with an illegal arms seller. While on the street, we see the overall disarray of the city streets with filled up trash bags laying next to a mailbox, and cups, cans, and napkins are seen lying on the street as they drive away. However, when we see Travis in a hotel buying illegal weapons from the salesman, it looks clean and well kept. Keeping in tradition with Travis's cognitive dissonance, when we see the city streets, it's very regular, with New Yorkers either walking or driving to other locations, and yet trash is just left on the sidewalk. On the opposite end, the events within the hotel are an irregular occurrence in Travis's otherwise regular life, but the environment is clean and pristine. These designs can represent Travis's violent desires and his need to break free from societal norms, with the contrasting nature of the trash on the streets and the lack thereof in the hotel showcasing how, to him, normal life is undesirable like trash, but a life separate from common uniformity is more desirable, like a firearm. This idea of environmental polarity is also seen within the hidden basement found within the park's household in Parasite. In another scene, Chong-suk follows Moon-gwang, the Park family's former housekeeper, into a hidden bomb shelter within the basement of the house. The basement itself within the scene is antiquated and dank, with visible rust seen on pipes and panels on the walls. The only objects seen are some of the bare necessities for survival, like a bed and toilet that Gwyn-si uses while he lives there. The basement itself serves as a connection between the higher class and the lower class because it works as a central core of impurity and degeneracy to the household. While the Parks can surround themselves with a house representative of their own prosperity, at their core they are mentally as immoral as the Kim family, through their discrimination of the lower class that is symbolized through the smell of the Kim family and their overall fascination with criminal activity during sex. While the higher class can hide their own innate darkness through clever means, the lower class have to live with their own mental flaws and adapt themselves accordingly in order to make steps towards escaping lives of poverty. According to Professor Michael W. Krauss, high-power people stay authentically the same person no matter the context, but people who are relatively low-power change little aspects of themselves because having low power means having to adapt and fit into different contexts. This psychological difference in class is delegated to the homes of the Parks and the Kims, with the Parks living in a mansion on top of their basement, and the Kims having to live out their lives within their own basement. Moving back to Taxi Driver, in the final scene of the film, Travis, after healing from a shootout with Sport, is seen driving Betsy to her apartment. As he drops her off, the street stands out since it is perfectly clean, free of any trash that is seen throughout the city and any of the other scenes. This design choice can be connected to Travis's Madonna-whore complex. The Madonna-whore dichotomy is explained as the heterosexual male perspective that a woman's nurturance and sexuality are mutually exclusive. According to director Martin Scorsese, discussing this aspect of Travis, you're raised to worship women, but you don't know how to approach them on a human level, on a sexual level. That's the thing with Travis, the De Niro character, the taxi driver, the girl he falls for, the Sybil Shepherd character. It's really important that she's blonde, a blue-eyed goddess. In other words, Travis sees Betsy as a pure Madonna that he loves but has no sexual desire towards. This explains why the sidewalk close to her living space is, based on Travis's perspective, immaculate, and further plays the idea that the events in the surroundings seen in the film's resolution are all figments of his own unstable imagination. Both Parasite and Taxi Driver share ending scenes that are built upon a character's perspective of their own resolution. In the final scene of Parasite, Kiwoo is imagining a future in which he earns enough money to purchase the mansion and see his father again. The mansion itself is bare, lacking any sort of material wealth seen when the Parks owned it. All that is visible is unpacked boxes and trees outside in the yard. This setting is meant to represent Kiwoo's aspirations for wealth, his desire to escape from a life of suffering poverty, his desire to live a life of comfort with a family he still has left. However, the house realistically signifies Kiwoo's hope that is built upon nothing. This is commonly referred to as false hope syndrome, which, according to Janet Pallavi and C. Peter Herman, is the increased perception of control induced by making the resolution to improve themselves leads many people to feel a false sense of confidence in their likelihood of achieving this resolve, and engenders distorted beliefs about the effects this success will have on other aspects of their lives. And as the camera cuts to the final shot of the film, Kiwoo is brought back to the depths of his basement, trapped amongst his impoverished surroundings. The titular parasite in the film is merely Kiwoo's false hope for wealth, his hope to live a better life. According to director Bong Joon-ho, while discussing the film's ending, he admits how a person's hope is a surefire kill, a Korean phrase that describes a gunshot that is meant to ensure your target is truly dead. Kiwoo's hope is unrealistic and impossible and will inevitably consume him until the day he dies. The key difference between Taxi Driver and Parasite's production design is its psychological center. At the heart of Taxi Driver is a battered setting created by its inhabitants. According to writer Paul Schrader, he's a man of disintegrating self-destructive personality, and he's not created by the city. It is the people who have created the cities. And at the heart of Parasite is the antagonism of the rich and the poor. There truly isn't a wrong or right within their environment. The Kims and the Parks are all merely human and are only separated based on their difference in class. The overall focus of the production design between the two films is also different. Taxi Driver's set design is meant to imitate Travis's mental instability, while Parasite's set design is meant to illustrate the monetary aspirations of the poor. In conclusion, Taxi Driver and Parasite both depict a character's mental struggles through their use of vivid and psychologically symbolic production design. This in turn resonates with the viewer and allows them to fully understand the extent as to why these characters commit horrible acts of violence. The environment works as a proper motivation for the character and what they inevitably become at the end of their respective arcs.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the video. Just to close out this video, I want to say thank you. Now, I've said thank you a lot over the years. You know, I've had many videos where I just say, oh my god, thank you guys so much for the support. But like, now that I'm here, I'm 18 years old, and like in probably just a week now, I'm going to be moving out. I seriously want to thank all of you. I mean, even with the small amount of viewers I have on this channel, I mean, it's still amazing that you guys continue to support my content and every day. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, this is pretty much how I got through high school. I mean, I'll be honest, high school was, it was fucking difficult sometimes. But making these videos is what kept me going. It was a passion that drove me every day. I just wanted to make good videos for people to watch. And for the last 4 years of my life, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for what I've made. I'm grateful for who I've intrigued by my content. I'm just grateful for all of you for sticking with me this long. And from the bottom of my heart, and from the bottom of every member of the That One Filmmaker crews that that have supported me over the years, from the bottom of their hearts too, thank you. Thank you so much for just sticking with the channel and supporting us. I'm just grateful, just thank you. Well, guess that's it. Well, I guess I'll do this one more time. I'm Blake Childress, and I've been That One Filmmaker. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.